Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We have the second EZA out of the first two from part 1. Unfortunately, EZA Fizz Super Vegito is probably one of the worst EZAs we've ever got. Like, I've never seen a Vegito unit so shagged before. And on the other side of the coin, we have EZA transforming Super Boo, who is really good. During JP's 8th anniversary, I saw him like fully rainbowed out. He was doing bits. The numbers he can get to is ridiculous once he transforms into Buhan. Unfortunately, and I did mention this in the Vegito video, I haven't pulled a dupe. This guy has been out on Global since the 16th of January 2019. We're now during the 8th anniversary in 2023 on Global, and I do not have a single dupe in that time. So, on top of the fact that hardly any of these Boo units, in fact any of them, have a 200% lead, fingers crossed for an LR Kid Boo one day who gives them one, we're going to be using this guy on a 1/7 lead, 55%, but we do have him at level 10 links. If you do have some dupes in him, let me know what he's putting out. I've seen some stuff of him rainbowed. He is ridiculous. Our main objective is to get the Buhan transformation, which isn't too difficult. You know, we do need to keep our HP between 80% and 100%. Not too difficult, especially considering the event we're in. But if we do manage to trigger one of the other two, the Buiklo or the Boo Tanks, I will show them just for video purposes. And, you know, come back when we manage to get Buhan. But we do have Boo Tanks on rotation with us straight away. So we do have Margin, Metamorphosis, Fear and Faith, the Wall Standing Tool, and Fierce Battle all active. We are also getting an extra defense plus 30% from Gamma 1. So we are starting with a 265k attacks, that 170k defense, which of course will be a little bit less without Gamma 1's support. But this is a very good starting rotation to see what Strength Super Boo's base form before he transforms is saying. And we're starting with a 4.5 mil attack stat, which, considering he hasn't transformed whatsoever, that's not bad. And again, no 200% lead, and I have no dupes in this guy. But after EZAing, he does raise his attack by 50% for one turn. So, I mean, if he did hit an additional, you're talking about over 5 mil, which combined amount of damage without being transformed yet, and again at 55%, that actually would have been pretty decent. Cause immense damage to the enemy, greatly lowers attack and defense. On his passives, get key +1, attack and defense plus 120. He then gets an additional defense boost up to 120, the more HP remaining, which I'm not going to lie, isn't too difficult. You know, I know in difficult content like Red Zone and the Shadow Dragon event, you are going to be taking a bit of damage. But once you get this guy transformed, or once he's kind of, you know, transformed in the units you have surrounding him, you should be fine at maintaining your HP. Not to mention some of the categories he goes on, like Margin Boost, Saga, Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Forms, Margin Power, Power Absorption, and even Worldwide Chaos. Depending on the team build you go for, which by the way, I actually quite like the team build I've got. I mean, minus a few units if I was going to take him into Red Zone, which I can't wait to try. But like, having the Gammas and then one floating, like a Gamma 1 floating, you can just tank everything with this guy and like a Boo Tanks and like maybe like 2 other floater units. I'm actually quite looking to using him in Red Zone, especially at 55%. And right now, we do actually have every single link active because of Strength Margin, not Margin Boo, Kid Boo. Without the support, we're on a 289k attack stat, which I'm pretty sure hadn't shifted, and 168k defense. But yeah, in terms of keeping his HP, you know, the more HP remaining, the bigger the defense boost. You know, getting more of that 120. On some of those categories, you're looking at units such as decent defensive units like LR Janemba, units like that surrounding him. In terms of units that have healing within their kits, you know, you're looking at some Goku Black and Rose units, maybe even Zamasu units. There's also Metal Cooler, there's also Cell units. There's some decent units. 4.9 mil, just shy of 5 mil right now, which is pretty decent again, considering he's not transformed and has no dupes. You know, you have a few units that do have healing as part of their passives, including other Boo units and potential EZA for Boo units. So in terms of actually maintaining your HP to get more of that defense boost, along with, you know, healing from same type key spheres, shouldn't be too difficult to actually maintain his HP within that 80% to 100% HP threshold to get Buhan out the majority of the time, which is obviously the transformation everyone wants. Buiklo, by the way, which is the 49% HP threshold or below, is actually really good. If he was like a separate unit, whether it was a sidebody unit, just like a TUREZA, I don't know, he would actually be really good. Like really, really good. Like his kit's really good. It's just, as I said, you want to go for the Buuhan transformation. There is no circumstance where you don't want the Buuhan transformation. But that Buickolo transformation is actually really good. Unfortunately, the Buu-Tank transformation, which is the HP threshold of like, what, 50 to 79%, is dog. It's cheeks. It's so bad. But if that Buickolo unit was just a separate unit from this Super Buu, he'd actually be really good. But yeah, on top of that, he does also get an additional attack and defense plus 60% when attacking, which doesn't mean you have to super. He then gets an additional defense plus 60% in the same turn after receiving an attack as well. So, you know, once this guy super attacks, his defense is in an okay spot, again, considering he hasn't transformed yet. And then once he gets hit, he should be fairly okay in some early phases of red zone. But, you know, he's definitely not anywhere near the defensive capabilities he can, of course, get to once we get him transformed into Buuhan. But in terms of actually getting him transformed into Buuhan, it really shouldn't be that difficult. As I said, when you think about some of the units you can run with him, who he's surrounded with, him himself, some of those units have healing. You know, you also have items, let's not forget, when you're going in red zone, when you're going to be going in the Shadow Dragon event, you can use items. You know, you're not banned unless you're doing no item runs. I did also bring this guy purely just because he does actually perfectly link with this Buu, and I thought, why not? But we are, of course, going to get the Buuhan transformation. I know we lost a little bit of health. I didn't actually see who we got. It's got to be Buuhan, right? We didn't lose that much health. We actually got Buu-Tanks. We actually got Buu-Tanks. We were just off. We actually recovered HP because of the kit, but we are actually just off. Now, I was thinking I will show the transformation and then just skip to when we get Buuhan out. But Buu-Tanks is actually terrible. Like, look, key +1, attack +180, defense +140, additional attack and defense +8% when attacking, an additional attack and defense +8% when the target enemies in attack down, defense down status. Like, you don't get the ability to do that unless you're doing ESBR. We'll have one rotation of him just to show it off, and then we'll come back when we've got Buuhan out. But he's on a 337,000 attack stat, 147k defense. I'll do one rotation showing off the Buu-Tank transformation, but this is honestly the terrible one out of all of them. Look, he's taking 50k on a basic, 6 mil attack stat though, but I mean, most people can do that. 50k on a basic in the Vegeta event, are you okay? Told you, it's cheeks. Now we've actually got the transformation we want. We managed to get a Buuhan one a lot smoother. I actually brought Better Caller with me this time just because of that healing thing I was talking about. And yeah, he's actually perfectly linked up once again, because we do have Kid Buu here. But now that he has transformed, we're on a 389k attack stat, 229k defense already. Let me not give the Fizz Buu-Tanks too many keys for his and see what he's doing with every single link active at level 10 links. But now that he's transformed in the transformation we want and we always want, on super attack now he will raise his attack and defense by 50% for 3 turns. So a 3-turn build up. So his attack and defense are going to jump up quite a bit. And this is where I saw his numbers get to insane lengths when I saw him fully rainbowed out. Fortunately, can't quite get to those at 55%, but they're still going to jump up. He's already up to a 7.46 mil attack stat. Just think, when he was Super Buu, he was doing like 4 to 5. He's jumped up to 7.4. He's already 7.5 mil up. And he has 2 more turns to build up his attack and defense for. Damn. I actually really do wish I have dupes. Again, I'm really curious to see how he does in like red zone at 55%. He seems like a lot of fun with dupes. But of course, with each transformation, he does recover HP once he transforms. With Buuhan, he does recover 12% HP at the start of turn. He then gets key +2 in attack and defense plus 180% at the start of turn, and an additional defense boost up to 120, so he keeps that as Buuhan. But again, as I said, with the likes of, you know, the lengths that this guy can get his defense to, he also has a 70% chance to guard. When you think about some of the units that can go around him, how good they are, you know, at defending themselves and defense-wise, and also healing. And as I said, items, keeping your HP, maybe not the max 120%, but at least somewhere near that. Most of the time, getting the majority of that defense probably won't be that difficult. He then also gets an additional attack plus 80% when attacking. He launches an additional attack that's a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. So if you have dupes, this guy could potentially super attack 3 times in one turn and raise his attack and defense by 50% each time he supers, once he's also fully built up. So again, it's a shame I don't actually have dupes because that seems crazy to me. And then not only that, as I said, he does have a 70% chance to guard all attacks for 6 turns from the start of turn. And then after that, from the 7th turn, he will have a 50% chance of guarding all attacks. So unfortunately, not a guaranteed guard, but if he had guaranteed guard, he would be a little bit too good, in my opinion. I can't lie. We do lose a Fear and Faith once we transform him, but we do get big bad bosses permanently. So there is that. But yeah, so, you know, guarding with the links he can get his defense to, he's going to be tanking like everything in the game for next to nothing. There's probably only like 1 or 2 super attacks that can catch him, but then again, it won't kill him, so he's still up. And if you use an item, even without guard, again, he's tanking everything. But for 1 super attack, 583k attacks, that, and more importantly, big bad bosses is active, and 341k defense. He still has to super attack 2 more times. So those numbers are only going to jump up. And again, this is at 55%. No 200% lead currently in the game for him. Just shy of an 8 mil attack stat on the second. Could additional, he does additional, he jumps up to 8.5. Again, that's only for the turn, to be fair. I would love to have dupes in this guy. I'm gonna have to definitely remember to give him some equips, some orbs before I do actually go into like red zone. It's not gonna do much for him, but I do definitely want to give him some equips just because, like, if he had dupes, along with the extra stats, I said I've seen him to get to some insane lengths. Honestly, once this guy, LR Super Boo, that of course Global got just before the 8th anniversary, Dokkan Fest Kid Boo, once all of these units and also the Fizz Boo tanks, and even then potentially he might be on the cards of getting an EZA very soon. He's like, what, like a 2-3-year-old unit at this point. Actually, I think he might be 3 years old. 2 to 3 year old unit. Him and that Strength Vegito, they're on the horizon for EZAs. Like, they're within that threshold. They're on that point of being able or eligible to get EZAs. So, you know, once a 200% lead drops for all of them, and then that Fizz Boo tank ends up getting an EZA, Boo units are going to be up. Boo units are going to be winning. As I said at the beginning of the video, fingers crossed sometime soon. Like, it's going to happen eventually. It just is. When we get an LR Kid Boo, hopefully he's insane. He then gets all the Boo units 200% leads. The Fizz one gets an EZA. This Super Boo gets the 200% lead, and he's already ridiculous. And that LR Super Boo is already good, and probably the best AoE unit we've ever seen. So, as I said, eventually, fingers crossed sometime soon, when that LR Kid Super Boo drops, Boo units are up. Like, they are up, and I can't wait. You know, maybe for Worldwide, you never know. Probably not, but, you know, I mean, you never know. Maybe we could see LR Kid Boo for Worldwide. I don't know what the theme could be. I don't know what they completely do with it. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, to be fair, they could do dual Vegito for Worldwide. I do want to do a Worldwide video for, like, my top three units I want, like, in terms of the celebration. They could do a VB and Zamasu of some sorts, and then a not strength, but then like a Vegito with some form of Boo. That could be a shout, and then that could be our LR Kid Boo. I don't know, I'm jumping the gun, but as I said, eventually. We do have Gamma 2 on rotation, given that attack plus 30%, and it's also our last turn to build him up. We're on an 861k attack stat with the extra 30% from Gamma 2, and a 458k defense stat with the possibility, with the 70% chance of guarding. So that's pretty much 500k defense and guard potentially, which he is guarding. Again, that's enough to tank like the majority of the game. Like, even on some of the biggest super attacks, he's up to 9.4 mil with the support. This is at 55%! And again, no 200% lead, and even got an additional, he's up to 10 mil! Oh, his defense at this point, you're talking like 600k with guard. I said that's enough to contend with anyone in the game. Like, don't get me wrong, Cooler Core's like 1.4 mil, and eventually when Sin Shenron's Shadow Dragon event drops, he's like one of the hardest hitting bosses in the game. Like, don't get me wrong, he would take some damage, but he will survive. No doubt, no questions asked, he will survive at least. So This Super Boo is insane. He's generally probably gone as one of the worst Dokkan Fest ever released. He's gone from that to one of the strongest EZAs currently in Dokkan. It's crazy how like a few years can really change a unit. It is crazy how much an EZA can really help a unit. But he is very good, and again, this is all at 55%. And no 200 lead, but mainly 55%. My one has no dupes, and he is this good. That one's getting super attacked, but still, even with a Dokkan attack, we shouldn't do too much damage where Vegeta's going to die. I mean, we actually took quite a bit of damage there. The healing from the Dokkan attack is actually going to be quite useful for us. To be fair, we do actually have Metacooler's revival, but I'd rather not have to trigger that or need to trigger that. Literally, that'd be quite embarrassing. But in terms of the video, one more rotation without support, we're pretty much done. But this Super Boo is sick. I can't lie. As I said, I cannot wait for all the Boo units to get a 200% lead because they are going to be winning. They are eating good when that 200% lead drops. But he's so good, and this is a free dupe, 55%, and he is putting in a shift. He is doing bits. Like, as I said, like, the Boo Tank's transformation on this card is terrible. Like, we briefly saw it. Like, all he's got is a bit of damage, and that's about it. The Buikalo, however, like, let me quickly pull up his details. We've already gone through it in the video, but let me just quickly pull it up. He will raise his defense on Super by 100%. Recover 20% HP when you transform. And then, not only that, he will also, in fact, where are our stats up to? 441k defense with guard. He'll get attack and defense plus 140 at the start of turn. All allies get key plus 3 and defense plus 40%. He has damage reduction of 50% as the first or second attack in a turn. Even just by that, with the support and damage reduction. Can you imagine if this was a separate unit? 8.5 mil, by the way. But can you imagine if this was a separate unit paired up with, like, the Buuhan transformation of this Super Boo? That rotation would be ridiculous. But yeah, not only that, and he then gets an additional defense plus 60%, and all allies get attack plus 40%, and also a chance point of critical hit plus 8% as the third attacker on the turn. Of course, you mainly want him as the first or second. And he also recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn for 6 turns from the start of the turn. Like, okay, we died because of Kid Boo, I didn't even realize. But it's fine, we got to see what we wanted to see. But I'm not gonna lie, I would be tempted to run like dual Super Boos. What's his lead? Yeah, transformation Boos. I'd be tempted to run dual Super Boos and force the friend one to transform, or whoever's, probably mine because mine's at 55%, but force one of them to transform into Buikalo and get the other one transformed into Buuhan so I could use this guy. But could you imagine if that was a separate unit? It would be an insane rotation. But yeah, this guy is ridiculous. I'm incredibly impressed with him, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm going to try and spread the videos out because next week I'm incredibly busy and don't know if I'll have enough time to actually record at some point, so I'm going to try to spread the videos out to make sure I'm kind of covered for that. Like I said, do let me know your thoughts on EZA Super Boo. I'll see you next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.